Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So yesterday, Queensberry announced their first official show on DAZN, and it is going to be called Heavy Impact. And I'm just going to read out a tweet from Everything Boxing. This is what it says. It says, confirmed, Dillian Whyte will face Joe Joyce on April the 5th in Manchester. As previously reported, Lawrence Okolie versus Richard Riakporhe in the co-feature, and David Adeleye vs Jamie TKV. I like the card. My initial thoughts. I like the card. I like the opponents. I like the level of competition. I think it's going to be a really, really good card on April the 5th. Now, before I start talking about that in more detail, I just want to give a massive shout out to Queensberry as well. They have recently signed Josh Taylor, and it's been confirmed that he's going to be facing Echo Esserman in Glasgow in May. And they've also confirmed that Kakachi vs Lee Wood is going to be happening as well on the 10th of May. So at the moment, they're doing really, really well. And it seems like there's a bit of a shifting of, I want to say shifting of the wave, if that makes sense, in terms of the shows that are being put on in comparison to Matchroom at the moment. But I mean, at the end of the day, as fans, we just want to see the good fights, right? We want to see the best fights. And if it's on Queensberry, it's on Queensberry. If it is via Matchroom, it's via Matchroom. It is what it is. But anyway, let's get back to Heavy Impact. And I'm going to start from the bottom of the card. Adeleye vs Jamie TKV. I like that fight. I like it especially for Adeleye. I've always said that Adeleye needs to go through a process of development. Now, what do I mean by that? I think he needs to be in a position where he can kind of face fighters where he's developing bit by bit by bit. Now, let's add into the mix the fact that he's got a new trainer as well in Adam Booth. Yes, they fought late last year, and Adeleye won by a first round knockout Solomon Dakers. But I think Jamie TKV, from what I've heard in terms of sparring and stuff and sparring stories, I heard that he always holds his own. So if he brings that into the ring, I think it will be a good development fight for Adeleye. My initial thoughts is that I think Adeleye is going to win. I think he's got a little bit too much for Jamie TKV, but it'll be a good development fight in that sense. Let's move on to the co-main, and it is Okolie versus Riakporhe. I am happy it is happening. The reason why is that this fight has been talked about for a really, really long time. Let's remember, these guys were in the cruiserweight division before, right? And there was talk about them facing each other. And for whatever reason, whether it be boxing politics, whether it be both guys on their own journey, it just didn't happen. And if you remember, there's been a lot of bad blood as well. The Creed 3 premiere, if you don't remember, both of them were close to getting into a scuffle. So there's bad blood there. They've always been linked with each other, and I don't think they particularly like each other as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see them both in the ring. Now, let's be honest, I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. The reason for that is both of them have a really good knockout record as well. Lawrence Okolie's coming in with 21-1, lost to Chris Billam-Smith, and he has 16 knockouts, as well as Riakporhe coming in with 17-1 with 13 knockouts as well. So I personally think a knockout is on the cards. Who is it going to be? Who's going to get knocked out? I'm not 100% sure at this stage, but I think there's a knockout on the card in that sense, and that's a really exciting fight. Let's move on to the main event, Dillian Whyte versus Joe Joyce. I like that fight for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think for both men, they will bring it. They will bring it in different ways. For Joe Joyce, first of all, Joe Joyce doesn't know any other way but to try and come forward. Slowly, yes. He's not the quickest guy, but he comes forward. And I think he's not going to change anything. He's going to do the same against Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, the body snatcher. I think he knows how to bring it. He has doggedness in him. Yes, the couple of last fights that he's had last year, especially against Tete, he looked absolutely terrible in that fight. But I think he's gonna be up for this fight. Let's bear in mind, this is a guy he's facing who Chisora beat. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a kind of psychological, if Chisora beat him, and I'm linked to face Chisora later, or I want to face Chisora later, I've got to be beating Joe Joyce. So he's definitely going to be up for this fight in that sense. And secondly, I think just level of competition for both men. Let's be honest, they're not elite fighters. They're nowhere near the kind of top table in that sense. But for where they are in their career, I think they're kind of level. And where you have two fighters that are kind of leveled, it usually is a good fight in that sense. And I think for that reason, I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. First thoughts, I think Joe Joyce is slightly ahead. I'll be honest with you. I think if you look at Dillian Whyte, especially in his last fight against Ebenezer Tete, he wasn't that great. He really wasn't that great. I expected a lot more from Dillian Whyte, if I'm honest with you. And if he brings that kind of form to the table, I'll be honest with you, he's not gonna win. He's Joe Joyce will beat him. But I think that if he's able to step it up, I think it's going to be a competitive fight between the two. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts. I'm going to keep it as a quick video today. I'll definitely talk a lot more about it as we get closer to the fight date. But as I said, heavy impact with Joe Joyce and Dillian Whyte, Lawrence Okoli and Riakporhe, Adelaide and Jamie TKV. Let me know your thoughts on the fight card. What fight are you really interested in seeing? And for the main event itself, who do you think is going to win that fight if you've got any early predictions? And until next time, guys, peace.